Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Eurovision 2022 interview here at ESCUnited. Today, I'm joined by someone who makes me so happy that I could die, and that's a fantastic pun, but it's Pi from Lord of the Lost. How are you doing today, Pi?
I'm great. You're actually the first one to do that pun. I'm not
Hey!
not lying, and I didn't just thought about it and was like, that's the first time. Not bad. Not bad. Thanks, Connor. Thanks for having me, Connor.
Yeah, of course. I always try to kind of, I think, change up the game. Everyone does that pre-prepared line, and I'm like, what pun can I pull out of your song lyrics and see how you react?
Yeah,
But I didn't want to do blood and glitter because I think that's just a little, it's a
obvious.
very strong visual. Yeah, and it's very obvious. Everyone's going to do that at you. So, but
Yeah.
awesome. Well, Pi, I wanted to ask you, I think that obviously a lot of Eurovision fans are familiar with you all as a band, but I don't think that they know that all of you have stage names. So could you maybe kind of describe to us why you all have individual stage names and how do you get those? Are they given? Are they gained?
I mean, they're not gained. You don't have to do anything for it other than have a bit of fantasy and creativity. Um, But from what I know, I mean, my name is was has always been just a nickname since sixth grade, I think. So it
Hmm.
has just gotten a stage name just because I'm called that. The stage names of Jared in class, for example, um, they just thought of it at one point to just have stage names. I don't remember the reason because, quite frankly, I wasn't in the band back then. Because it was in 2010.
Hmm.
Um, and also Chris's name is just as an artist name to not to make it sound a bit cooler than his usual his regular name.
Hmm.
My name was given to me by someone I don't remember. And Nick, that's just his name. He doesn't have a stage name. It's his name, Niklas Karl. So we're not entirely sticking to the we all have to have cool stage names and have
Hmm.
to be called whatever on stage. It's just
Yeah, I think it's
we're
cool that it's
us.
kind of like it's like an inside, I don't want to say like an inside joke, but like an inside story for you all that, you kind of create, I guess, your own stage persona, if you will, but then you also have your offstage kind of, I guess, persona, your personal persona.
Yeah, I mean this right now. Obviously, I'm not wearing any makeup or wearing fancy clothes. I'm just sitting here on my couch, and it's just this is me. This is us being the regular guys um, that you're also seeing on social media. We're not trying to have a facade there because it
Hmm.
does not have to be there. It's just when we're quote unquote in our stage personas. I I'm having a hard time like drawing a line there that this is regular, this is stage. Sure, it's two different worlds, but and in one world you get to express yourself a bit more,
Hmm.
but all of what's on stage is in me sitting on this couch right here. It's just um I rarely wear makeup outside in regular life. Sometimes I do, just because I like it.
Yeah. I mean,
And I
who's to
also,
stop you?
exactly, no one, at least in Germany,
Right.
luckily.
Right.
So yeah, it's just, I think the on-stage personas are just a bit more of an elevated, exaggerated version of
Right.
the way we are,
Yeah,
really.
it's kind of like because of course before this interview I did ample research, but I know that you all are specifically Chris, very outspoken about supporting the LGBTQIA plus community
Yeah,
there
yeah,
internationally and in Germany. But it's kind of like drag, you know, drag takes you from who you are to just that exaggerated, like you said, version of yourself. But it's not a different version of you. It's just you going from 10 to 15 on a 10 scale.
true,
Um,
yeah.
which, and I think when we think, especially back to the Unserlied national final, I think
Hmm.
you can kind of see a little bit of that where, yes, you are kind of really dressed up and obviously wearing tons of glitter, red hair, you know, all that stuff. But
Yeah,
what you were doing on stage and like that energy, we also saw in the green room when the winner's announcement was made. So I want to ask you, what went through your head when you were officially announced as the winner of Unserlied?
went through my head. I I have to say I had to look back at that moment. Um, I really did because it was super nerve-wracking. The the audience votes, because
Mm-hmm.
I thought when the jury votes were in, I was like already coming to terms with the fact that we're placing fifth or something. I was totally okay with it. Never expected anything. Um, and when we got the audience votes, the points, 146 points. Um, I guess it was. I think it was.
I think it
Um,
was.
I don't know what went through my head. I really don't. It's I look back at the footage and I'm trying to hug Trong, but at the same time I'm breaking down on the sofa, starting to cry, and we're all just completely like doing things to cope with that situation.
Right.
um, and I think it was the first time in my life that I had heart problems.
Oh,
Really, no, no, not in
oh,
a bad, really bad
okay.
way, but I've never experienced irregularities in my heartbeat, and it was the first time that I experienced that.
Well, hopefully, I guess maybe the emotional experience could be good practice for the actual Eurovision Song Contest in Liverpool of going
Maybe,
through
yeah.
that voting sequence. I think that's the I want to say benefit, but I guess also a curse of being Germany is that you auto qualify. So you don't have to worry about making it to the
Yeah,
results, but you still have to go through the results, which, let's be honest, haven't favored Germany in the past few years. So I
yeah.
wanted to ask you on a personal level, when you're thinking ahead to Liverpool, do you have any concerns, worries, fears, or are you taking this from an approach of whatever happens, we're in for?
The latter. I'm absolutely looking forward to this year and to this event, especially. Um, and I'd like to go into it with my approach of thinking, because I'm going there with the idea of it not being a competition, quote unquote, that the voting system is based on borders. Like you're not voting for the sympathy for a country, um, but you're voting for the song you like best. Um, and that's why, sure, or we're saying we're representing Germany, but I think we're everyone, not only in this competition but on Earth, is very, very lucky or unlucky to be born in the country where they're from. Depends on the country.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it just happens to be that we're from Germany, right? And it happens to be that the other artists are from their origin country. So I'm going in to this competition with just the thought of the song that's winning is just the song that's most popular with people, and it's not because of the country they're from. And I really don't, with that thinking, I really don't have any expectations. and I don't want to, because I'm going into this with such curiosity and joy, because I never thought that it would happen, that I'm ever going there. You don't think that in your life as a
Mhm.
musician. I don't. Um, and now we're going there. So whether we're placing somewhere or not, or we're being, as always, Germany last place, I'm fine with it, because for me, we've already won a lot. So I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm also really looking forward to just hearing the other artists live. I've listened
Yeah.
to a few songs and they're great. Everyone's great.
Yeah. Well, that actually was a great question that I was going to ask. I was going to ask it later, but I'll pull it up since
Yeah.
we've just mentioned it. Are there what songs that are in Eurovision this year have kind of caught your personal attention?
Um, Cha 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 by Kärja from Finland. Um,
It's an experience.
it's an experience. I love the outfit. I love the dancers. The song itself is a great crossover. Um, it's really unique. Um, and also, I've listened to Serbia, um, which is I was surprised. I was surprised, and I again found myself with a thought, which is a stupid, very. I have to be honest here. It's a very stupid thought to have, but I want to be honest and saying, like, because it's Serbia as a country that you don't really have pulled up in your mind all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're kind of surprised that something as outstanding, to me at least, is coming from Serbia. And that's where I have to challenge my thoughts again
Hmm.
about the whole thinking about countries thing, because I want to erase that.
Right.
It's stupid. It's utterly stupid. And I caught myself in that moment. And again, it was just like, that's just a great song. Doesn't matter where it's from. Um, and also, I think everyone's favorite, at least when I'm looking at polls, is Loreen. It's
Yep.
you can't write a better pop song. You can't just write a different pop song.
Yeah.
It's
No, and
really good.
I think you're right. Everyone kind of has her on, I guess, the your tongue of people that you're thinking about. But you're right that I mean there are 36 other artists, 35,
Mm,
including taking you and Laureen out. That I guess I'll challenge the listeners to make sure that you are listening to all the songs and not just
exactly.
that one fave that you have. Because that album's coming out soon. And of course, if you're watching the show, you're sitting through 36 other songs. You may as well get comfortable and enjoy them and stream them. Support the artists. That's, I think, the biggest piece of Eurovision. You're right. There is a
Yeah.
winner and someone has to win, but there are 36 other careers that are happening
Yeah.
alongside that win. Um,
Exactly.
well, I wanted to ask you, we'll get off the topic of Eurovision just for one moment. I wanted to ask you if you were speaking, I guess, on behalf of Lord of the Lost. If y'all had the opportunity to perform anywhere in the world and money and logistics weren't a factor, where
Ooh.
do you think the band would want to perform and why?
Money and logistics aren't a factor.
Not a factor.
Wow. Ooh. Mm, aren't a factor. It's kind of a question. What's my dream setup for a concert? Really,
It's a
I'd
good
love.
question.
Yeah, there has to be. It has to be sunny in a sunny place somewhere in the ocean. I don't care. There has to be like a concert island where there's accommodation for everyone,
Hmm.
for the artists playing, for the audiences. You have boats that get you there at any time. The boats don't pollute the ocean because they're working with
Eco-friendly.
solar power.
There you go.
There you go. Um, yeah, that's you have to build like this concert island where you have perfect accommodation for everyone, boats, 24/7 shuttles, no people having to drive it because they're driven by, I don't know, AI. So no people have to like do crazy hours, but can enjoy the shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the
Okay.
Mediterranean Sea, for example, that's fine because it's
Okay.
everyone can access it from somewhere.
Yeah. So it sounds like a concert in the future, like
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
say
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
like
That's
five,
very
10 years in the
fine.
future,
That's
but
far in the
somewhere
future.
in the Mediterranean area. So maybe I guess if you are watching this in the future, just be on the lookout. Maybe there's a Lord of the Lost concert coming to the Mediterranean area around Malta or
Exactly.
Cyprus.
Ooh,
Uh,
yes, Malta is great. We've performed on Malta
oh,
before
really?
in 2019, I think, on a festival. It's a
Mm.
beautiful island. I initially wanted to say Antarctica, but our singer Chris, he's cold very, very fast. So I don't
Mm.
know. I don't want
Yeah,
to make him endure that.
fair enough. I'm sure the penguins and the polar bears might like a little metal tune here and there.
Sure.
All right. Well,
Penguin mosh pit.
yeah. Well, I want to ask you one final question.
Sure, yeah.
I think that there are a lot of people who ask, oh, what is the staging going to look like? Or what does this plan look like? But I want to ask you specifically, what is
Yeah.
the first thing that you want to do when you make it to Liverpool outside of rehearsals?
Uh I want to play an acoustic gig at the Cavern Club.
Hmm. Okay.
I want to. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just saying I want to. Because that's just a great idea. Not to toot my own horn, but it's a great idea. For let me get this straight. From the Beatles. They're from Liverpool.
Hmm.
Who's watching probably knows that. If not, you know now. Um, their career really in Europe started with them traveling to Hamburg, St. Pauli, which we're from,
Hmm.
playing 281 shows in 3 years in the clubs of St. Pauli. These clubs still exist where they've played.
Hmm.
Um, so there's a connection there. And as far as I know, the Cavern Club is an important club for the Beatles in Liverpool as well. So I'd just like to play there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, even if maybe it doesn't happen whilst you're there, maybe it could be a future to-do item. Because I know that there is also I know Liverpool's not on it, but a future international tour that kicks off actually next month, pauses for Eurovision, and then picks back up post Eurovision. So of
Mm,
course, if you've somehow missed that news and you're watching, go check out their Instagram and their social media because all that information is out there and maybe they're coming to a place near you. They're also coming to South America. So, like, there's no excuse to make some arrangements and get to that concert. But
thank
Pi,
you.
I want to express my thanks for surrendering a little bit of time, especially ahead of Eurovision preparations, to talk with us. It's my hope that we'll be able to see each other face to face in Liverpool because I will be there, and so we'll
Oh, great.
hopefully
Yeah.
get to do this
Nice.
again and maybe talk a little
Nice.
bit more about what you have prepared and what you've done for Eurovision. Of course, for those who are watching, again, I can't stress enough, make sure that you are supporting the band, make sure that you are following them on social media, on Spotify, YouTube, the everythings, and make sure that you're tuning in once we get to Liverpool for the grand final so that you can watch what great performance they have in store for you all. But until we get to that point, I want to thank you and I want to say goodbye.
Yeah, thanks, Connor. Goodbye.